Hey everyone, it's Saturday the 17th. So last night I posted a rant video about Jeff Loeb and comics. Switch the geeky gears here. I just finished up two games that I actually got pretty recently. I also got Brutal Legend. Almost done with that. I'll try to post a video when I finish that. But for the time being, let me start with Uncharted 2. If you have a PS3, you probably already know about this game. If you don't know about it, that's kind of ridiculous. The first Uncharted was one of the best games for the system. Problem with the PlayStation 3 is it doesn't have a lot of exclusive games. A lot of games that you're like, hey, I gotta buy a PS3 to play that game. You know, you got your Metal Gear, and you got your Valkyria Chronicles, and you got your Ratchet and Clank, and you had Uncharted 1. And Uncharted 1 was pretty badass because it's basically a more flexible, more acrobatic version of like an Indiana Jones. It has, if you haven't played the first Uncharted, you know, this is going to be sort of spoilers, but you know, you're sort of stranded on this island, and this guy's trying to get some statue or something. It's been a while since I played the first one. But anyway, much like Indiana Jones, it has sort of supernatural elements. Basically, the stone's cursed, and Drake, the main character, Nathan Drake, he has to stop the guy from getting the stone off the island. The Nazis went after the stone turned people into these weird zombie creatures. But basically it was the gameplay and the voice acting and the pacing that made that game just awesome. And it kind of blindsided a lot of people because it was a new franchise. Nobody really knew anything about it. You know, you watch the trailer, it almost looks a little Tomb Raider-like. But it was awesome. So Uncharted 2 came out Tuesday. I picked it up. And I honestly didn't play it very much for like the first day because I was diving into Brutal Legend. But when I did pick it up, I pretty much played it straight through. My wife, you know, watched me pretty much the entire time, if only because she thought it made a kick-ass movie. Because that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's very cinematic. It's very, again, the pacing is perfect. The voice acting's awesome. The basic plot is Drake's at it again, and he gets embroiled in this crazy Russian guy's plot to find Shambhala, Shangri-La, whatever, and the Chintamani stone, which again is legendary and is supposed to grant, you know, ridiculous powers to whoever, you know, possesses it. And you know, so basically, you know, you go to like 5 or 6 different places throughout the game, and you're gathering clues. And again, there's like, you know, the Nazis had gone after this stone in the past, and it's supposed to be this gigantic what you call it, sapphire. God, I'm really out of it today. So everybody's trying to get it, and again, if you haven't played this yet, if you don't mind it being slightly spoiled, there's supernatural stuff in it. There's yetis. You sort of have to see how it's done to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's like these yetis and twists and turns and backstabbing characters, and it's very, very well done. They cleaned up some of the gameplay in this one. You can grab people from undercover, do some like silent takedown kills. Very nice. The guns, there are plenty of guns, lots of treasures to find. It's fairly linear. I mean, you can't branch out too much except to grab the occasional treasure. But I finished it in about 8.5 hours, maybe. And once it was done, I sort of wanted to replay it again. Just an awesome game. The bonuses are really cool. You can unlock different skins for the character, change the appearance, different guns, unlimited ammo, all different kinds of stuff. Haven't touched the multiplayer yet, besides the beta I got with Infamous, but that seems pretty cool too. Frankly, I'm not really looking to get into any multiplayer games right now because, less than a month, Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and, what's the point in playing anything else? But yeah, Uncharted 2 gets my seal of approval. I'd say if you have a PS3 and you haven't bought this yet, shame on you. There's not really a reason not to buy it. The second game, which I was playing sort of concurrently with Uncharted, is Arkham Asylum. I'm a little late to this party. This game came out a little while ago, but I picked up a used copy because it was cheap. And I'll say this now, I was not a huge fan of the Spider-Man games. I just wasn't. I mean, they were cool for what they were, but they were not awesome. To my money, to date, the best superhero game was the X-Men Legends game, if only because, it was really long and it had a lot of characters and a lot of the mythology was there and just really cool. Ultimate Alliance was okay, but a lot of the sort of single-player superhero experiences just fell flat. I mean, no one's really done a good superhero game yet. And Arkham Asylum isn't a superhero game. A lot of people debate Batman is not a superhero. He is a hero, a guy with gadgets. But he has an awesome rogues gallery. He's obviously a comic book hero. And Arkham Asylum is the best comic book tie-in game media thing to date. With the exception of a couple movies. Basically, they got the voice actors from the animated series, or at least a couple of them. You have Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. To a lot of people, myself included, that is the best representation of Batman outside of comic books to date. The 90s animated series is like gospel. Just awesome. But they got them in there, so that's a huge bonus from the get-go. The graphics use the Unreal Engine, so everything's, everything's good looking, but my problem with Unreal, and actually with a lot of games now, and this goes back to Uncharted as well, everything looks wet and shiny. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, basic premise of the game: Batman's bringing the Joker in for like the millionth time to Arkham. That's the asylum where they keep all the bad guys once Batman catches them. So he's bringing them into Arkham, but it's essentially an elaborate trap designed by the Joker, and he takes over. He takes over the island. And you have, Bane and Poison Ivy and Scarecrow and Killer Croc and Harley Quinn and Zaz, and, a bunch of rogues gallery kind of villains. The Riddler's in it to a capacity, but it's more of a voiceover, thing. But yeah, the story's great. The voice acting, as I said, is awesome. The gameplay is great. You have this fluid combat control where you're constantly fighting and countering, and you got all the Batman gadgets, and it's just phenomenal. So yeah, I'm sort of reaching my time limit here. I could talk about him a lot more, but Batman, definitely worth the money. Uncharted, definitely worth the money. I'm going to be finishing up Brutal Legend soon, and I'll post a video for that. That's the most fun of the three that I've played so far. The other ones were a little frustrating. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you get a chance, definitely pick up both of these games, and I'm going to say it right now, Brutal Legend, awesome. Alright, have a good one.